Now in news from New Zealand, the jury has convicted South African national Lauren Dickason of the murder of her 3 children. The majority verdict was delivered in the High Court in Christchurch earlier today. Dickason strangled her 2-year-old twins and their 6-year-old sister in their home in Timaru 2 years ago before trying to take her own life. During the trial, her lawyers and family argued that she was severely troubled and in the throes of postpartum depression. The judge also agreed that she was mentally unwell. The 42-year-old doctor from Pretoria now faces life in prison for each of the murders. His sentencing date will be scheduled in due course. Well, joining us to discuss this further, I have Cornelia Roux, the Citizen Deputy Digital Editor, and Sinkoyi, a clinical psychologist. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Now, Cornelia, just give us some insights. You've obviously been tracking what's transpired. How did the jury arrive at this verdict?
Well, the jury, the New Zealand justice system is quite intricate. It is based on a British system, but then it also has a jury like in the US. So there were 12 jury members. 8 women and 4 men. They are also, as in America, chosen from the public. So yes, 5 grueling weeks, basically, of listening to very, how can I say, grim details and testimony, and then evidence from Crown forensic psychiatrist experts about the mental health of Laura Dickason. So the jury then on Monday started with their deliberation process. Through that, they were led by Justice Cameron Manda. And on Monday, the only thing that they asked for was to watch the police interview with Laura Dickason, which was conducted with an hour-long one just after she was arrested in September 2021 after killing her 3 little girls. As I understand it, her defense lawyers and Lauren were really, really not hoping that this was going to be the case. Almost already there was the nail in the coffin for her, because with her police interview, she immediately said that she was wanting to kill the one twin because the twin was on her case all the time and was being a little devil. And
Cornelia, I'm going to stop you there for a second,
okay.
Because I'd like I'd like to bring in Simphiwe and just focus a little bit on the psychological perspective. Simphiwe, if you join in the conversation, what would drive a mother to take the lives of her own children in this manner?
There are quite a number of mental health factors that would drive someone to that level of acting out of character. Basically, when I was reading up on the case, I suspected postpartum depression. Because remember, when someone is depressed, the essential feature of depression is, number one, poor judgment and lack of insight. Well, when someone has those 2 most prominent features of mental illness, they whatever they can do is unpredictable. Now, the most important aspect of it that intrigued me in this case is that if one would be suspecting in infanticide, it's pretty strange that the mother would decide to take the lives of 3 children, because usually in cases of infanticide, there's always a target child. But in this case, there's 3 children. Now, when I was studying it, I suspected something a bit more than what would transpire in the case of postpartum depression. Remember, sometimes it is difficult for me as a psychologist to determine what would that be without proper assessment. But my own impression would be that probably if I were to assess the situation, I would go to extents of trying to figure out the person's background, and do they have any history of even if it's passive aggression, even if it's aggression towards animals, even if it's verbal aggression, or
so obviously there'll be
people who know.
Multiple other factors could play a part. We unfortunately have to wrap it there. Clinical psychologist Simphiwe Sinkoyi and journalist Cornelia Roux unpacking that issue for us.